Yo, welcome to Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Roach, along with my partner, Mr. Ali Wally. We got a big show for y'all today. We talking about the NFL playoffs. The playoffs are finally here. We have our teams. Make sure you go to YouTube and hit that Spectator Sporting page, subscribe, hit that bell, leave a comment. We do respond. Also, we are on Spotify. The Spotify is always in the description in the show as well, so go ahead and check us out. The playoffs have finally arrived. A lot of things happened this year. It was a crazy year. Back and forth, the COVID cases, the injuries, but we finally made it to the NFL playoffs, and this is some familiar teams. So we're going to start with the AFC. Now, the AFC first round matchups goes as the Chiefs versus the Steelers, Bills versus Patriots, Bengals versus Raiders, and the Titans have a first round. So, right away, Adi, just tell me, who's playing in the AFC Championship game?
Well, you know what? The Chiefs' defense makes me feel uncomfortable. But, you know what? Mahomes and friends can give us 30-plus points a game, so I'm going to stick with the Chiefs. I picked the Chiefs to go to the AFC Championship game before the season. I'm going to stick with them. And their opponent will be a team that has the longest active playoff win drought in the NFL. You know what I'm talking about?
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
The Bengals have not won a playoff game since the 1990 season when they played a Houston Oilers team without Warren Moon. They blew them out because they had Boomer Esiason on their side. They blew them out 41-14. Now, Joe Burrow, I am shocked. I cannot believe that he's not a first ballot Pro Bowler this season. Very unbelievable, very amazing. And so the thing is, now there's a lot of good trio wide receivers in the NFL, the Rams and the Dallas Cowboys, but T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and Jamar Chase has got to be the best in 2021.
Lord have mercy.
Then throw in the man, number 3 in the NFL in rushing yards, Joe Mixon, okay? So we're going to get a rematch of the Week 17 rematch when the Chiefs was up 28-14 in Cincinnati against the Bengals and everything. But with 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the game, the Cincinnati Bengals, the game was tied at 31, and the Bengals was facing a 3rd and 27 at the Chiefs' 41-yard line. Joe Burrow allows the pass to Jamar Chase. Charvarius Ward is face guarding Jamar Chase, but Chase makes the catch anyway for a first down, okay? On 3rd and 27.
I still don't know why they didn't double team Chase. Like, he was killing dude all game. Why didn't they double team? That's a different story. Go ahead.
Yeah, he was mossing him and everything. Dude cannot guard him. All right, so now, then after that, the Bengals ran down the clock, ended up getting the game-winning field goal, winning the game. Huge win, one of the biggest wins in Cincinnati in years, or maybe 5-6 years, okay?
Yep.
And so, now, there was a guy, Jerry Butler, for the Buffalo Bills, and he was a rookie, and he had the record for most receiving yards in a game, most yards by a rookie in a game, 255 yards in 1979 against the Jets. Jamar Chase broke that record. He had 266 yards receiving in that game against the Kansas City Chiefs, okay? Now, are the Bengals going to the Super Bowl? Are they going to the Super Bowl? All right, wait a minute. Now, before that loss to the Bengals, the Chiefs had won 8 straight games, okay? They won 8 straight games, and they lost that game by a field goal. And I'm going to say the Kansas City Chiefs is going to be only the second team in NFL history to make it to at least 3 straight Super Bowls. We know the Buffalo Bills did it 4 straight times in the early 90s. I got the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl.
Wow, that's if the Chiefs do go to Super Bowl, even though they only one Super Bowl, they are on an amazing run right now. Since they put Pat Mahomes in the lineup. I agree with you on the Chiefs. And I wanted to take the Bengals. I so desperately wanted to take the Bengals, but you know what? Now that I think about it, because if the Bengals win,
because the Bengals played
the 5th seed.
They played the Raiders the 5th seed, right?
So if they go to the second round,
then they're going to have to play the Titans, because unless you got the Bills losing to the Patriots.
Then the second. Okay, so in that case, I agree. I agree, because I think the Bengals will beat the Raiders, and I like the Bengals over the Titans. If that's the second round matchup, now that'd be a different story if Derrick Henry was playing. That might
I think he's going to play though. He returned to practice. They have a bye week.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know how he gonna be though. Like how healthy he's gonna be. Is it gonna be Derrick Henry, the one who's second all time in playoff per game average, yards per game, or are we gonna get Derrick Henry hobbled? So I just don't know. But I might have to agree with you just because they have an easier path to me. Because I think with the Bills playing the Patriots, that's gonna be a rough game for them. The Bills, even if they win, they would have to play the Chiefs in the second round.
True.
So I just think that's going to be a very tough path. So I'm with you. I got the Chiefs versus the Bengals. I love what the Bengals doing. I love Joe Burrow. And these LSU boys, these LSU Tigers, that championship team is no joke. They got nothing but studs in the NFL right now. Jamar Chase, I know they ain't in the playoffs, one of the most underachieving teams, but you got Jefferson. That's a loaded. That was a loaded team right there. But yeah, I like the Chiefs and the Bengals, and I think it's gonna be an epic shootout. And guess what? The Kansas City Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs is going back to the Super Bowl. Listen, until I see somebody beat them when it counts, it's just hard for me to go against them. Yeah. So, Adi, we talked about this AFC team. Are we overlooking anybody?
Yeah, you know what? You mentioned the team, the Tennessee Titans. Okay?
Yeah.
They have a very underrated defense. They have a first ballot Pro Bowl safety, Kevin Byard. He was top 4th in the NFL in interceptions with 5. Okay, you also have the Pro Bowl snub Jeffrey Simmons, the defensive tackle. You also have the edge rusher Harold Landry. He was number 10 in the NFL in sacks. The Titans, number 6 in the NFL in points allowed. Julio Jones is back and healthy. Yep. AJ Brown, he is doing his thing. He's good to go. Henry, they got a bye week. It's huge that they get that first. The number 1 seed, so you get that bye. Yeah. And I think Derrick Henry will be back. Will he be rusty? We don't know, but I think Henry getting back there, at least a decoy, play action or something like that, give him. And then the Tennessee Titans, they blew out the Chiefs 27-3 this season.
They spanked them.
Yeah. So we definitely overlooking the Titans.
Yeah, the Titans. I agree with the Titans. Listen, the Patriots. Now I know. The Patriots have a rookie quarterback in Mac Jones, and I know Mac Jones had a lot of success. He could, pop where he ain't gonna be offensive rookie of the year. That's Jamar Chase, but he's gonna, he's been the best quarterback this year out of the rookies. Yeah. But the playoffs is a whole different animal. But one thing the Patriots have is Bill Belichick and game planning, and they know how to take a team and take away all their strengths. And they seem to do this all the time, and that's how they got by this year for the most part. So I think we shouldn't sleep on the Patriots. Especially them playing Buffalo. This is going to be the 3rd time they playing Buffalo this year. So even though I picked Buffalo to win this game, I'm very nervous about Buffalo in this game because Belichick knows them. He knows Allen. He knows what Buffalo wants to do. And if you give Bill Belichick another chance, a crack at game planning against you, and that's against any team. So I just feel like, and the Patriots defense is always in the right spot. They always make the right plays. And they always prepare. So I think the Patriots are a team that should not be slept on. Yeah, I like the Patriots. I like that cornerback, J.C. Jackson, very underrated cornerback. The defense is really holding it down for the Patriots. But I will say, the Patriots beat the Titans this year, but they didn't have Derrick Henry when they beat them. And they beat the Buffalo Bills, but they was playing in a tornado, hurricane warning type of game. And Mac Jones only threw the ball 3 times. And then 2 weeks later, the Buffalo Bills got their revenge. And they held Mac Jones to 43% completion percentage. He only threw for 145 yards, 0 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions. I don't believe in the Patriots. And you know what? The Buffalo Bills, they had an easy victory. That's another team we're overlooking. They had an easy victory over Kansas City in Kansas City. Yeah. Micah had a nice pick 6 against the Kansas City Chiefs to put the Bills up 31-13 in the 3rd quarter. The nail in the coffin. Josh Allen was killing, 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, 315 yards, 59 yards rushing, and a rushing touchdown. The Buffalo Bills,
in Kansas City in the second round. I'm really looking forward to that game, but I'm gonna pick Kansas City.
Yeah, that's like an AFC Championship game in the second round. I mean, that was my reservation of picking the Bengals, because the Bengals wouldn't have to go through that. Even though they're going through a gauntlet, I'm not gonna any love for the Raiders or the Steelers. Any love for the Raiders or the Steelers?
Definitely not. Steelers gonna get it. I mean, they do lead the league in sacks. They play the Chiefs in the first round, but no way they can score with the Chiefs. Now the Raiders, you know what they are, a sleeper team. No doubt, a sleeper team. They're going against the Bengals. Max Crosby, very the defense. Yannick Ngakoue, they can the Bengals. Joe Burrow still gets sacked a lot. They're bottom 5 team in the league in sacks allowed. So the Raiders, I'm not gonna sleep on them, but I'm picking the Bengals.
Yeah. Okay. So man, we shall see. The AFC is definitely gonna be exciting. Didn't expect the Steelers to be in the playoffs. The Raiders and the Steelers snuck in the last week.
Thanks to the Colts losing to the Jaguars.
Oh, some terrible things happened the last week of the season. Not to mention the Chargers. All they had to do was just let the Raiders kneel the ball. That's all they were going to do, and the Chargers will be in the playoffs. But that's a whole different story. Ravens, they could have had it. They could have won. They could have been in the playoffs. So it was just a wild weekend in the AFC.
Yeah.
We talked about the AFC. Now let's talk about the NFC. The NFC was a lot cut and dry. I mean, the NFC last week was pretty much done. You had a couple things happen. The 49ers found a way to sneak in. And the Eagles. Who thought the Eagles, out of nowhere, they made the playoffs? And so I know a lot of people was bashing NFC East, but they ended up with 2 teams in the playoffs. So shout out to the East showing up. But, Adi, let's do this again. The NFC Championship game. Who do you have and who's going to win?
Okay, well, since week 1, Green Bay only has 1 true loss, okay? And that was week 11 against the Minnesota Vikings. Yep. Because when they went to Kansas City and lost, Aaron Rodgers was not there.
Nope.
And then the Green Bay Packers made me lose my rent money last week against the Detroit Lions when they benched Aaron Rodgers at halftime and lost that game. Okay, so I got the Green Bay Packers.
I knew it.
Going back. I mean, that's what I said before the season. I'm sticking to it. And so also, now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver Chris Godwin, he's number 7 in the NFL in receiving yards per game, but he's out for the season. Antonio Brown, he's kicked off the team. He, ran off the field in New York. That was very entertaining.
Very entertaining.
And then you got the other guy, Cyril Grayson. Now all of a sudden he has a hamstring issue going on. He has a problem with his hamstring. We don't know if he's going to play or not. And so, but Mike Evans, he's back and healthy. Catching touchdowns, doing what he do. Scotty Miller, he had a nice touchdown against the Carolina Panthers. And then you also have Tyler Johnson. He had 5 catches against the Carolina Panthers. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they should be getting Leonard Fournette back and JPP and Shaq Barrett. Those guys should be good to go in the playoffs. And then Levante David, his foot was hurt, but he's close to being healed from that. Yep. So the Bucs are getting healthy, even though they lost a few wide receivers. And so I got Tampa Bay versus the Green Bay Packers for a rematch in the NFC Championship game. So we know last year, the Green Bay Packers, it was in Lambeau Field, they was trailing 14-10 right before halftime, and Aaron Rodgers' pass was intercepted by Murphy Bunting, okay? And then that led to a Scotty Miller touchdown.
Big touchdown.
That was huge. It was 21-10 at halftime. And then later on in the game, it was 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the game. The Packers was losing 31-23. It was 3rd and goal from the 8-yard line. Now, Ndamukong Suh and JPP chased Aaron Rodgers out of the pocket. It looked like Aaron Rodgers could have made a nice dash for the pylon.
I thought it was.
Yeah, and do some kind of John Elway stuff and just dive for the pylon and all that. But instead, he decided to force a pass into double coverage to Devontae Adams for the incompletion. And so they settled for a field goal, hoping to stop Tom Brady. Tom Brady never gave the ball back. He never gave the ball back to Green Bay. There was a controversial pass interference call on Kevin King against Tyler Johnson. You be the judge. You look at the play. You be the judge. You think it was pass interference or not? We know the refs love Tom Brady. I thought
they love Aaron Rodgers too.
They love both.
They love these guys. Okay, the media, the refs, they all love these two guys.
Yeah. So now, you know, Tampa Bay, they won, made it to the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl and everything. Now, since the Green Bay Packers beat the Bears in the 2010 season NFC Championship game, they beat out Chicago Bears. Since that happened, Green Bay is on a 4-game conference championship losing streak. They lost to the 2014 Seattle Seahawks, the 2016 Atlanta Falcons, the 2019 49ers, and the 2020 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, 4 games in a row. And Aaron Rodgers played Tom Brady 4 times, only have 1 win, okay? So he wants to get all excited about saying, I own you, we own you in Chicago and all that stuff. When Jordan used to beat the Milwaukee Bucks back in the day in the 90s, did we get all excited about beating the Milwaukee Bucks?
Nah.
Did Jordan run to the Milwaukee crowd like, I own you? We didn't care about that. We cared about beating the Jazz and the Suns.
Pistons.
The Pistons, you know what I'm saying? Like
the Knicks.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers getting excited about beating the Bears, dude. You know what I mean? Well, what are you doing, okay?
Yeah.
So, look, Aaron Rodgers, he has to win this game. Because if he loses to Tom Brady and go 1-5 against Tom Brady, 5 in a row losses in the NFC Championship game, man, you know what? It's going to be karma, all right, for talking shit to our Chicago Bears, okay? To our fans at Soldier Field, okay? Man, he has to win. And I'm going to pick Green Bay because he has to win. I'm going to pick Green Bay go to the Super Bowl.
Ooh, you know what? The Packers, they have been the best team in the NFC all season this year. I mean, they got mollywopped week 1 of the season by the Saints. You know, that was. You know, I think that was just a game where Rodgers had it coming. You know, the Packers had it coming. There was too much going on in the offseason. They had it coming, but after that first game, they figured it out, and they've been on a tear. And once again, they're right back where they was the last 2 seasons. But I'm going to tell you something. The Rams and the Packers, and where it sets up, the Rams, they have a monster matchup against Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals.
True.
That game could go any way. I'm not going to lie to you. But I'm picking the Rams just because that's what I picked at the beginning of the season, and I'm sticking with it. Okay. Which means that will set up a matchup between the Packers and Rams in the second round. Jalen Ramsey against Devontae Adams. Now, Devontae Adams, Jalen Ramsey can talk all of the mess he wants. The one guy he has not been able to control, the one guy he has not been able to contain is Devontae Adams. Mr. 99 rating himself in the All-Man has not been able to do nothing with Devontae Adams.
True.
Devontae Adams has gave him the business, and I think this changes this time. Ramsey comes, they're going to go to Lambeau Field, and the Rams are going to put the Packers out in the second round.
Wow.
Yes, Aaron Donald, they're going to get after Aaron Rodgers, and you're going to see a whole different game this time around. I got the Rams, and I got Tampa Bay in the NFC Championship game. Tampa Bay versus the Rams. Tom Brady and company, you know, they're going to be back. And, you know, as long as the game is close, everybody's scared shitless of Tom Brady. You know he's going to make things happen. But the Rams are going to the Super Bowl this year. I said it at the beginning of the year, and I'm sticking with it. Matthew Stafford from Detroit Lion to the Rams to go win it all. So I don't get me wrong. I think it's going to be an epic game. I think all the games are going to be close. But I got the Rams going to the Super Bowl. I think they're coming out the NFC. And I think and this time it might be it for Aaron Rodgers. He's been in all these playoff games. I mean, his one fame and glory in the playoffs is beating Jay Cutler and the Chicago Bears in the NFC Championship.
Then he beat the Steelers for the Super Bowl.
And he beat the Steelers for the Super Bowl. That's true. But after that, he's been good. But
that was a decade. Over a decade.
That was a while ago. So his playoff performance don't match his regular season performances. Kind of like Peyton Manning almost in a sense. Yeah. But I got the Rams because I just think the Rams, they can put it together. They can run the ball, and they can get all Cooper Kupp. They loaded that wide receiver. They got it with Beckham. Yeah. They get after the quarterback. I think Ramsey has a point to prove. He wants to go at. He wants to show the way that he can stop Devontae Adams because Devontae Adams has had his number. It's just no doubt about it. But I think the Rams get through, they break that gauntlet. I think the Bucs and the Rams is going to be a great matchup, but I think the Bucs will lose, and I think the Rams are going to the Super Bowl.
Well, the Rams already beat the Bucs this year. That was very early in the season.
That was early in the season.
Yeah, that's before they had Odell Beckham and Von Miller. And the Rams, they got the best team on paper. I mean, if the Super Bowl, if the playoffs was on paper, they would win that damn thing. You know what I'm saying? And they traded a plethora of first-round picks to create this all-star team that they have. But they did get blown out by the Packers in Lambeau Field this season. And, I got the Packers.
Hey, I'm not mad at that. So, what team are we overlooking in the NFC?
Well, it's two teams, all right. But, DeAndre Hopkins, he had surgery on his MCL.
That was a big loss for them.
Yeah, December 13th, mid-December, he had that little surgery. And so they're hoping and praying that he comes back in the playoffs. But I don't think he'll be back for the wild card.
No, he won't.
And so the Cardinals, they lost 4 out of their last 5 games. That was a bad loss against the Seattle Seahawks, but they could have won the division because the Rams had lost to the 49ers. And so the Cowboys, they got 3 wins this year. That's another team that we're sleeping on. The Cowboys have 3 wins against playoff teams this year. 2 of those wins came against the mediocre Eagles. Okay? They just don't win the big games. They're not doing it. I cannot trust them. We are sleeping on them. They could beat the 49ers. Sound like you got them beating the 49ers, but the 49ers can beat them in the first round.
I don't know. You think so?
Yeah, that's going to be a good game. That's going to be a very good game. But even if they do beat them, they're going to have to go to Tampa and beat them. So, but those are 2 teams that we kind of sleeping on, Arizona and Dallas.
I think Dallas has a lot of talent. Like, Dallas talent. Like, you say the Rams on paper is... So is the Cowboys. If the Rams is the first, the Cowboys will be second. I mean, they have an all-star receiving crew, Dak Prescott, and their defense, with Diaz, 11 picks this year. Micah Parsons, Lawrence, they have a squad. But like you say, it's just something don't click when they play real good teams. And I actually think the 49ers are going to beat the Cowboys. I like the 49ers. Because the one thing the 49ers do, Kyle Shanahan does, they run the football. They run the ball and they play tough defense. And that's what they're gonna do when they play the Cowboys. And I just the 49ers, they're more built to me for the playoffs, the way their perspective. I could be wrong.
Well, if that's true, then that means you get the Green Bay Packers and the Rams in the NFC Championship game. Yeah,
I have to pick the Cowboys then. So, you know what? I'm going to stick to my pick. I'm going with the Cowboys.
You're going with the Cowboys? Okay.
Only because, you know what? This 17 is... Okay, listen. This 17 is very confusing. The 17 is very confusing.
Okay, so you got Cowboys over 49ers?
I got the Cowboys over. That can go either way. It wouldn't shock me if the 49ers beat them. That 49ers, that win they had against the Rams at the last... That was a confidence-building win. I know they won in overtime, but for them to get in the playoffs that way, playing, because that was essentially a playoff game for them, for the way they played, and I think that can carry them a long way. But I guess the Cowboys are going to win. I do like Dak and company. But I think the 49ers and I think the Cardinals. I'm not going to sleep on the Cardinals, but this is Kyler Murray's first playoff. They are missing Hopkins, so we'll see. Yeah. And the Cardinals' defense is not playing as good as they was at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, they gave up, 38 to Seattle?
So you got in the Super Bowl. Who you got in the Super Bowl?
I have the Green Bay Packers versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Ooh. And I have the Chiefs versus the Rams.
Yes.
I have the Chiefs versus the Rams. And who's winning it?
Okay, well, now before the season, I said it was going to be Green Bay against Kansas City for the rematch of the first Super Bowl ever, okay? That's when Green Bay blew out the Chiefs, Vince Lombardi, okay? But now I'm making a little change.
Don't change.
Yeah,
don't change.
I usually don't do this.
Don't change.
But Green Bay's going to win it all.
Ooh.
Green Bay's going to win it all.
Aaron Rodgers going to get his second ring, huh?
He's going to get his second ring. Yeah, he's going to get a second championship ring because you know what? I just can't see how the Kansas City Chiefs is going to stop Aaron Jones, not Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon from doing whatever they want to do. I mean, their run defense is not good. I mean, I can see them just running all over them. I don't like the way the Chiefs looked against the Denver Broncos the last game of the season. I think the Packers can just run all over them. And the thing is, they're going to control the time of possession and everything like that. And then if you look at it, when the Green Bay Packers played the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City, they didn't have Aaron Rodgers, but they held Patrick Mahomes only 166 yards passing and only 13 points, okay?
Wow.
Green Bay Packers, Rashad Gary, he had 9.5 sacks this year for the Green Bay Packers, led the team. Preston Smith had 9 sacks. And you also have Kenny Clark. He made his second Pro Bowl this year. Kenny Clark, they have a pretty good defense. And then the Kansas City Chiefs, they don't rush the passer, okay? They was the 4th worst team in the NFL in sacks. Aaron Rodgers with a bunch of time to throw to Devontae Adams, Tunyon, Valdez, Scantling, Lazard. I got Green Bay winning the Super Bowl.
Listen, that could very well happen. I mean, it might be time. Green Bay, 3 years in a row, pretty much the 13 wins. You know what I mean? It can happen. No question about it. But Rams versus Chiefs. As bad as I want to say the Rams, I got to go with the Chiefs because this is where the belief in Matthew Stafford stops. Listen, Stafford is a good quarterback. He's a gunslinger. I mean, just like Mahomes, he does the no-look passes and all that crazy stuff too. He was doing it way before. He just didn't get the credit that Mahomes is getting for it. But I just think the Chiefs elevate their game in the playoffs. Not only their offense, their defense gets better in the playoffs. Now, I know they had a sluggish game. I know the Bengals, I mean, they went crazy on them. And the Denver Broncos, Melvin Gordon was running the ball all. But before that, their 8-game winning streak, their defense was playing really lights out.
They had the Cowboys, 9 points?
Yeah. So their defense has shown they're capable of making big plays and stopping you when they have to and stopping the run. So I think it'll be a good game, but I got the Kansas City Chiefs winning a second Super Bowl in the last 4 years?
Yes, second Super Bowl and this is their 3rd time going to Super Bowl.
If they go this year, this will be their
3rd straight time going to the Super Bowl.
This will be their 3rd straight time. They 1-1. They beat San Francisco.
And then they lost to
Tampa Bay.
And then you said they're going to beat
the Rams.
So that'd be
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
I think they're gonna get 2 out of 3. So yes, I got the Chiefs and Mahomes because it's only so long they're gonna be able to keep this thing going. Eventually, teams was gonna figure it out. A lot of people thought the Chiefs was figuring out early in the season when they were struggling a little bit, but then they went off on the 8-game winning streak and just shut all the haters up. But they do have some vulnerabilities. There's no question about it. The Bengals showed that vulnerability. If you got great receivers, you can get busy on them. But we're gonna see. I got the Chiefs beating the Rams. I think it's gonna be a heck of a matchup. I would love to see Aaron Donald, probably the best defensive player in the NFL the last 5 to 7 years. Jalen Ramsey, probably the best corner we've seen in the NFL since maybe Diaz. I don't know. He might be, so Darrelle Revis, but I just that side of the ball with Stafford in those big games. Not to say that he can't do it. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah.
We just haven't seen him in crunch time because that's what these games gonna come down to. The quarterback and who's gonna make those clutch throws and everything. And I just haven't seen Stafford in this situation. Like in the regular season, he did make a lot of comebacks in Detroit, but I'm talking about in the divisional playoff game, Super Bowl, NFC Championship game. Now I do got to be in the Super Bowl, but but I think their defense is gonna storm and kill in the playoffs.
That's the key.
But in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, Stafford gonna have to, he gonna have to really show himself. Yeah. So, but I got the Chiefs. I mean, I had Baltimore at the beginning of the season, and then Lamar Jackson got hurt, and they just changed the whole dynamic.
Too many injuries for Baltimore.
Yeah, way too many injuries. So, with that being said, we'll see. We both have the Chiefs. He has the Packers winning. I have the Chiefs winning. We'll see who's right. It's all on tape. You've been watching Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Roach, along with my partner, Mr. Adi Wadi. Make sure you go on YouTube, subscribe to that Spectator Sporting page, hit that bell, leave a comment, subscribe. We will respond. Also, check us out on Spotify. In the meantime, in between time, we out. Peace.